So welcome. My name is Kristen Shepard, and I'm the floodplain administrator for P&DS. I'm also a Design the Future 2.0 member. We will talk about Design the Future and what that is here shortly. But I'm joining you today with some other 2.0 members, Marcy Cameron, Jessica Stevens, and Sarah Easton, to provide you an update on planning and development services and our recommendations for changing the way that we do business. So today's presentation will cover the background and methodology for the work that we've been doing. We want to give you a little sneak peek behind the curtain so you know how we came up with the changes to our business model and what that means to you. But the bulk of the presentation is really going to go over the Design the Future process, recommended changes for how we do business, and then what that means to you. I just said that, but this is about you and what this whole thing means for you. Okay, so Planning and Development Services, P&DS, was created as a joint service area in 1999 between the Planning Department and the Public Works Department. So in 2019, the city hired a consultant team whose name is Team Tipton to help us identify issues and design a future business model to address our customers and our staff's biggest concerns. Shortly after Tipton was hired, we embarked upon the Design the Future process. For short, we call it DTFP. And this process addressed foundational issues within our department and identified what was needed for improvement. So the 1.0 recommendations came out in February of 2020 and included three major components. One being that P&DS would now be its own department, so no longer a shared service area, but its own standalone department. We would adopt operational excellence as our cultural anchor, and we will talk a lot more about that throughout this presentation. And we also recommended generating a new business plan for how we operate as a new standalone department. So that was the 1.0, it's kind of the bigger picture. 2.0 recommendations are underway and are nearly complete. And these focus primarily on how we organize internally to get the work done and provide an operationally excellent product and services to our customers. So we're looking to do implementation and work planning at the end of this year, with starting to do the implementation of those recommendations in 2021. A team of 10 P&DS employees were nominated to lead this effort, supported by 2 consultants. Unfortunately, my video camera is covering Sloan Walbert, these are her 2 daughters, and they're making an incredible face in this slide. So she was part of this team as well. You might know her as she does a lot of the planning reviews. So fun fact, this is the same team that brought you outdoor expansions in the spring, helping businesses respond to COVID-19 in compliance with Colorado governor's orders. We have been meeting as a team for 6 or 7 months now, working towards a better future. We use something called the Agile process, which is used a lot in tech to focus our work efforts and make decisions rapidly, which I'm very proud of. We also use what's called human-centered design, which means we start with perspective taking, really understanding our customers and what they want, and building the processes around that. So we're always driving towards operationally excellent outcomes. You're going to hear that word over and over and over again. It is our new anchor. It's our new mantra. We're going to talk a lot about it. So it was important also to us that the future was all inclusive of staff and customers, as well as being intentional and mindful with what we built and how we built it. So as part of the human-centered design process, we asked for and received feedback from multiple sources, including the CPD forum. What we heard was that our processes in P&DS are unpredictable and inconsistent, and we heard that there was a desire for more accessible staff and a strong desire to work together towards solutions. Clarification of requirements and code was another major concern that we heard that needed to be ironed out. So we took all the feedback and we fed it through a lens of operational excellence, there's that word again, to take a hard look at our tools and our processes. So quick understanding, operational excellence is a relentless pursuit of simplification and streamlining. It's tightly integrated processes, eliminating variation, and standardizing anything that can be standardized. To be clear, operational excellence is not robotic, machine-like customer service or simply following protocol. It's not allowing intuition or instinct. It's not doing the same thing over and over without a view toward innovation or creativity. We really want to, that's why we have the human-centered design aspect, so we can hear our customers' needs, but also filter it through standardized processes so we can meet a final design of our business and the way we do business that works for staff and our customers. So these foundations of human-centered design and operational excellence led to three, we'll call them recommendations. And just to be clear, these are recommendations and aren't final or implemented, but it's where we're headed. So these fall into three major categories. The first is about our departmental identity. This is why P&DS exists. The second is about establishing a teaming approach. This is what the work is that we do. It's kind of the behind-the-scenes way we organize. And the third is about prioritizing processes that we want to standardize and streamline. This is how we do that work. So Marcy's going to dive into that first recommendation about department identity with you, and she's going to do that now. Thanks, Marcy.
Thanks, Kristen. I'm Marcy Cameron, Historic Preservation Planner and Design the Future team member. This first recommendation is around our departmental identity. The first piece is to define our core services. We're keeping it simple and recommending two pillars of P&DS, planning and development services, with foundational support critical to our success. Planning is the forward-looking work we do to define and implement the vision of the Boulder Valley Comprehensive Plan. It includes making recommendations through development review, creating policy, and collaborating with other governmental agencies. Development services captures our administration of the Boulder Revised Code and other standards, including code amendments, reviewing applications, inspecting, enforcing, and issuing licenses for development-related businesses such as contracting, renting, and leasing. This work is made possible by the foundational support services, which include administrative, customer, technological, records, and research support. Our mission statement helps boards, council, and the community know what we do and why. We recommend that our mission statement be that the Planning and Development Services Department collaborates with our community to define and implement a shared vision for the city's future and consistently administers codes and policies to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of the community. Next up are the guiding principles, which are meant not only to establish what we do, but how we do it and why. So in Planning and Development Services, we work with our community to define the vision for Boulder's future and implement equitable policies, programs, and processes to translate that vision into reality. We consistently administer codes and policies to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of the community. We provide clear and predictable service through integrated processes and timely decision-making. As experts in our field, we work collaboratively internally and externally to facilitate workable solutions. We build and nurture a team of outstanding colleagues and cultivate a fulfilling and supportive work environment. And we dedicate ourselves to the continuous simplification and streamlining of our processes and procedures. The last piece about our departmental identity is the definition of customer service in the context of operational excellence. We asked our colleagues three questions. First, what does your team look like when it's at its best? When your team is at its best, what does operational excellence look like? And when your team is at its best, what does customer service look like? There were two interesting outcomes from these conversations. First, they revealed team strengths, and second, the answers to the second one about operational excellence and the third one about customer service often overlapped. We took this feedback and grouped them into themes. Customer service through the lens of operational excellence is empathetic, accessible, timely, easily understood, predictable, efficient, and consistent. And with that, I'll hand it over to Sarah.
Thanks, Marcy. I'm Sarah Easton, Administrative Services Manager in P&DS and Design the Future 2.0 team member. Our second recommendation is to establish a teaming approach to streamline our planning and permitting processes from initial inquiry to final inspection. Keeping in mind our themes for customer service in the context of operational excellence, we began to look at our processes through the customer's experience with a focus on obtaining operationally excellent outcomes. We mapped how different types of customers journey through our system, then discussed how customers and staff would prefer the system operate in the future state. We incorporated customer feedback and identified themes from the journey maps, which helped us see how we can structure ourselves differently to meet the needs of both staff and customers. These themes or insights include anticipating needs early, having clear and consistent processes and documents, and coordinating comments across disciplines. The goal is that everyone will experience a streamlined process, clear and accessible materials, predictable timeframes, and an automated self-service option. For complex projects, additional support should be provided through checkpoint meetings and a dedicated contact for process-related questions like application status, timeline, and cost. The principles Marcy described earlier will help us achieve these goals. Hopefully you are starting to see how the recommendations align with the feedback we heard from you all. And again, thank you. Your feedback was critical in helping to shape these recommendations.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm Jessica Stevens, Senior Project Specialist and Design the Future 2.0 member. Following the development of the business model recommendations, it was clear that we had a lot of work ahead of us. In our third recommendation, we began to prioritize the processes and procedures that would need to be streamlined in order to achieve our goal of operational excellence. We determined that in order to achieve our goals, we would need to begin by tackling optimizations that were critical to the success of the recommendation. And we are currently working on recommendations to design a framework for self-help tools, optimize our electronic processes, improve coordination through changes to our internal structure, and address internal processes that have been identified as roadblocks to our success. Here's a look at where we are and what will be coming next. The business model recommendations were completed in August. And currently we are working in teams to optimize the areas that were outlined on the last slide as foundational to the success of the proposed business model. We hope to complete this phase later this month and begin to integrate this work with other Design the Future efforts and prepare for implementation later this year. We plan to begin internal work associated with implementation early next year. Our goal is to provide a phased implementation, making each improvement available to you, our customers, as soon as it is ready. We are working hard to design a better future for us all. 2020 has been a tough year. Through a combination of positions that were planned to end this year, positions that were ended early, and ongoing reductions resulting from COVID-19 revenue shortfalls, P&DS will experience a 25% reduction in staff in 2021 compared to January of 2020. We know that you have been impacted too. We want to provide the best possible outcome for everyone, and in order to do that, we need the space to explore bold ideas. Prioritizing this work will impact our service standards. However, delays are expected to be short-term and balanced in the long term by greater efficiencies resulting in improved customer service and future cost savings for both the customer and the city. We appreciate your patience and participation in this process, and we ask that you provide us the space and grace necessary to make our dreams a reality. As Kristen shared earlier, operational excellence is a relentless pursuit of simplification and streamlining. We welcome your feedback now and into the future. There will be opportunities for you to engage as we continue to develop self-help tools and application materials. To let us know how you think the new process and approach are working, and weigh in on how the proposed improvements are impacting the predictability and reliability of our services. On behalf of the Design the Future 2.0 team, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to share our recommendations today. We are happy to answer any questions that you may have and look forward to your feedback. Thank you.